Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a yoga empath, and I just like doing these little talks on the way I feel about things. And today's pretty zen. Today's a pretty good day. Got to hear some stories. Sometimes when you know people for a real long time, you find out things, and you're like, man, you think you know somebody. And their story just keeps getting better and better the longer you know them. And I guess the older I get a little softer, and I start thinking about more important questions to ask. So, got to check in with a couple folks today, and that was real nice. And I was going to do a live, but, this new moon energy, my freaking Tucker is all cantankerous. He's all in his bits, and he's like that. Freaking just Benny breathing annoys him. So, I wasn't going to have them getting into a tussle, because Benny's turns around and bumps Tucker. I don't want no dog fights on live YouTube, so nah, they're all pretty chill. Tucker's all freaking bark. Anyway, but it was kind of interesting because it was my buddy just got had a knee surgery done. And they didn't replace it, but they took out some bone that they missed about 45 years ago, back when he got hit by a van in 1974. Some shards of bone left in there, and they have PICC lines in his leg from there, like talking about having it in there for like 12 weeks. And I'm thinking, dude, if there is some kind of infection in there, you keeping it clean, bud? It would have got him by now. 45. I mean, that was the year I was born. I'm 45. And but I guess they're extra real careful about stuff like that. I don't know. It seems like the PICC lines would be more of a detriment than as a foreign object than it already clogged up one time too. So I don't know if that's common occurrence or not. I don't have a lot of experience in that. I know a thing or two about a thing or two though. So anyway, but I was telling him, I was like, it was weird because I had this had an anxiety attack the other day. I was coming out of a meditate state because my intention, I try about do about an hour a day, and I might not always make it. Some days do 38 minutes, some days do 45, but I try. And some days like today I do an hour and a half, and some days like yesterday I do an hour and a half. And I come out, and I'm not always, it takes me a minute to get dialed in on the freaking right frequency of my intended timeline or whatever. And it takes me a minute to get some bearings. Like, people feel that kind of way when they get massages. I used to feel that kind of way. When you just get blissed out, you just get zen. You're just in a vibrational state of freaking goodness, and not a lot of people reach that because of diet and whatnot. But anyway, I came out, and a thought crossed my mind because Mom had been watching Grey's Anatomy, and there's an episode that she had broken her jaw and had to have it wired closed, and that thought came in my mind, and that it became my reality, and my body became instantly fearful, like, because I can't yawn. The idea of not being able to yawn, I freaking would be like, I would cut it off myself. I would end up doing it myself. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Anyway. Yeah, I just made myself yawn. Anyway, it just freaked me out and put me, like, my body in a vibration, like, fear, post-traumatic stress, which time, you know, but the thing of it is when I talked to my friend today and he's telling me a story, he's like, yeah, that happened to me too. My mouth was wired shut because I broke my jaw in 3 places, and it was just like, dude, no wonder you're so zen, because he's like he's like my dad. But he's the one that teaches, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. He's got all these little, he's a Virgo, and he helps me understand all the earthy stuff, because I don't know that. It's not in my chart a lot. And I was like, dude, no wonder you were so zen, because you freaking had to be. You freaking had to be zen. You had no choice, man. And then and people don't realize, when trauma and things like that happen, and you have to relearn something, when you defer, it happens to people all the time. The point, especially when people get drunk. But they like it. I used to like it, but losing control. But but when it's not intentional, and something happens in your life, and your brain tells your body to do something, and the disconnect's there, and it doesn't, it's a freaking trip. And I've seen it happen to a lot of people too. But like, he had to learn how to eat again, because start with soft foods, build it up. And I just, all I can do is imagine and hope I never have to experience. But I did get to experience it, because I can't imagine. I don't know. It's also weird. But I've had weird ideas like that before, and it puts me in a state of anxiety. I did it. I tried to talk myself out of it. The last time I had an MRI, and I couldn't, because I got hot, and then when I got hot, and then there was an itch, and then it was over. Had to move. Couldn't stop it. Couldn't control it. Powerlessness. Anyway, and then he also told me a story about, I'll leave that one for later. That's another little heavy stuff. But anyway, what I was thinking about today is this, what is happening is what happens every year around this time, only concentrate, because we're kind of circling a drain, because we're kind of running out of time about is freaking evil really going to keep winning? Come on. When is it going to break? What's going to be the breaking point? Because everybody knows something huge and colossal tower is going to come falling down, whether it's climate wise. Winter's coming, 24 inches already in Montana, and it's freaking September. It's not even October, so it's, start thinking about the people that are shut in and don't have nobody. These are the people that need the communities. Bring people in around them. And but what's coming out, see, is the ego is being unveiled. And now that the Libra new moon is in effect, and the balance is coming, and it's here. Whether people like it or not, the good and the bad is going to be balanced out, and it's going to be shooken out. And the more of an incline, the more of a difference, the greater, think about who you were in life when you started out, back when you're you want some of my cookie, to now it's a multi-billionaire of a company who's taking all the cookies for them, and taking the cookies of everybody in your community just so you can have all the cookies. Where that disconnect, the greater the disconnect of who you were and who you are now, is going to be the freaking harder that the tower is going to fall for people right now. And I'm pretty even keel, so I'm not really too worried about me and Mom, but a lot of people are just going to have a really rude awakening in the next 3 weeks or so. The planetary alignments, man, just know your chart. It's going to make things easier for you, because there's going to be days, don't go out and go drive. Don't do it, and my temper, those days me and Mom were just going for walks and taking pictures and looking at leaves, and looking at, Mom, these trees look like they're glowing, Mom, it's amazing. And the birds come visit and stuff. We look for feathers and just hang out and have a good time, and then come home and eat good food, and just kind of, and just to let the good stuff come in, and leave all that, and I check in, and I know what's going on in the world. And the more egos, the bigger the egos, man, the bigger that freaking people are being sought for who they are, because they're out of control, man, because they're living in their sickness, where the whole world to see, and the whole world is just going do you see this guy? He's he's exposing himself right here in front of everyone, in a very literal and proverbial way. So, and it's happening everywhere, and her too, the women, it's the imbalance in people. The ego makes people do really gross and seedy things. It makes people succeed too. But then I think about all the people that are coming in to the realization of man, how I've been living it for me, I don't know, I think some people will come back that will benefit, like, oh, I don't know, some people are along the lines that don't go back to where you came from, you know. But I'm excited. Mom and I were talking about that because, like, it's my, you know, I'm like, Mr. Iski, we were talking earlier, I was talking with my mom earlier, and we were talking about, I said I could just call somebody right now and be like, hey, you want to go take some pictures or get a cup of coffee and go take some pictures, you know, and hang out, and, you know. And, because it's the same town, but it's a different place, you know. Freaking 25 years later, I haven't lived there, but I know a lot of people there because they live there and their kids live there, and you know, some pretty cool people still around there, so I can just go hang out, and there's, you know, coffee shops and freaking shows and stuff like that, and there's always something going on, and, you know, and I'm more likely to run into people I know, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like going downtown, because I don't like the people down here, and nobody looks at you in the eye, and they're all fucking, they're all, like, oh, their blessings have spoiled them, they're all freaking stretched out, freaking NFL or college jersey or whatever, and they're like, it's just not my bag. So, his mom and I stay close to home and have a good time. And but just, you know, try not to trip too hard when you see freaking someone that you've always respected and admired, and you find out they're just a dirty scumbag. You know, that's why, you know, that's why I always, you know, people know I'm gonna make things awkward, and I'm probably gonna disappoint you one day. You know, and you're probably gonna disappoint me. Hopefully the balance is I disappoint you less than I don't. Or I don't, I bring more joy than, I add more than I take, you know. So all the takers are, they take for too long, and now they're going to have to start paying that back, you know. So, but people are they're just, things just feel weird. They just feel weird, but it's the new norm, so you got to get used to it, you know. You got to feel your emotions and identify them, you know. And then it's because I think about it, I'm like, when are kids learning what emotions are? I learned mine when I was freaking out in nature playing when I was a little girl, and I'd freaking toss around, see birds, and, you know, see the magic of nature and just watch the wonder of it all. And oh, hoo-ha, and where do they look at it now? It screams. And the video games that people let their kids play, they're just downright atrocious, and they're psychopathic, and there needs to be some sort of discretion there, man. That's just, parents need to be more involved, less worried about those six figures that they're worried, being more adamant about what the freaking kind of games your freaking kids are playing, because they're just darn right weird. That's all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.